walked up, I didn't think about this, didn't I? I'm going to have to unwrap all of it. No, it doesn't. But anyway, if you guys want to grab some after your question, I think that's the only way we're going to be able to do this, right? So come to the top. Can you stand up? Oh, well, I'll pass it over. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want Jeff, take my
question? Then they'll really hook you up.
Take this mic.
They'll really hook you up. So our panel is going to run until 8 o'clock, which is when everything shuts down. So let's try to get as much questions as we can as humanly possible. You guys cool with that? Word.
Let's do it. Hands up.
Hands up.
Gerard is definitely going to win this one because he's got 4 arms, guys. 4 arms. He can extinguish all 4 of those flames at once.
Yes, because he needs 4 arms. That's why.
I think it's pretty easy. Right, they're squaring up. Okay.
Oh, look at this. Good stuff.
Instantly.
Good stuff.
All right. It looks like. Oh, I thought Gerard was turning, when he came out.
He's grabbing.
Came out swinging. He's grappling.
Doing the old loopy loop.
Yeah, we gotta watch out. He might put him in a 4 leg lock. Could happen. Oh wow. Big spin. Powering up.
Good block.
Oh, there's no way that
Ollie, you're embarrassing us right now.
Classic.
Wait.
Yeah.
You can do it, Gerard.
Alright, it looks like the life is pretty even right now. We got a pretty fair match going on here.
I think a muscle guy could fight a lamp.
Yes, this is good. This is good.
He's got it trapped. He's going to pin him down. What phase shifting?
I'm liking
It's close. Oh! Come on, we fight out of this. It's a tight match.
Come on. Do this.
Oh, the boxer. Block. Look at this. It's over. It's over. Yes. Excellent.
There's a bit of an over-reliance on the same move here.
Competing against each other, we got 2 families, normal boots versus hidden block. Jesse, let's go to the next slide. So, I made several survey questions about these guys, and it was answered by you. So, not only will they have to try to guess what they think the right answer is, they have to guess what they think you thought the right answer is. This is gonna be pretty tough. All right, let's get 1 person from each team. Come on up. Starting off with our first question, we get Gerard. Let's get Waleed. Come on up. All right, we go Waleed. All right. All right, guys, get your phones out with your air horn apps, and that'll be your buzzers. Jesse, just go ahead and show the question. All right, we're gonna start off pretty easy. Now remember, everyone in the audience, please don't help. Do not shout answers. It's all on them. All right. All right, Gerard, Waleed, top 5 answers on the board. When Jeff goes to the grocery store, name the first aisle he goes to. Gerard.
He goes to the cereal aisle.
Cereal aisle. All right.
Good answer.
Survey says number 2. All right, now Waleed, you get a shot. If you get the number 1 answer, you get to control it. When Jeff goes to the cereal or the grocery aisle store, what aisle does he go to first? Produce. Survey says. Pretty close. 1 point. All right, Gerard. You want to play it? We're gonna play. All right, they're gonna play, everybody. All right, we'll go right down the line. All right, PVG. You know Jeff pretty well.
Yeah.
You hang out with him a lot.
I've seen him.
So I feel like you know this.
I know.
So when Jeff goes to the grocery store, what's the first aisle he goes to?
See, Jeff loves a good beer. So he's heading right to the alcohol aisle. That's where he's going.
Okay. Alcohol aisle. Survey says.
You think you know me? You think you know me?
Alright,
doesn't count.
So we got the number 1 and the number 3
I'm
answer.
very curious as to what everyone thinks.
Alright, so Josh.
Yeah.
When Jeff goes to the grocery store, what's the first aisle he goes to?
Condoms.
Alright. Condoms. Survey says.
There's protection.
There's a whole aisle for that?
Alright, Paul.
In Philadelphia, there is.
All right, Paul. When Jeff goes to the grocery store, what's the first aisle he goes to?
I think Jeff is a really sweet guy. I think he goes to the candy aisle first.
The candy aisle. Good answer. Survey says number one answer on the board. All right, you guys got 2 attempts to try to get that last question. Otherwise, Hidden Boots or Hidden Block is going to get a chance to take it from you.
Okay.
So, Nick, when Jeff goes to the grocery store, name the first aisle he goes to.
All right, we went out to dinner last night, and this dude ate like 47 ribs. So I'm gonna say he goes to the meat aisle.
Meat aisle, okay.
The meat aisle.
Meat aisle, all right. Meat aisle, survey says... Oh! Satch, it's up to you, man. One last shot to try to get that last answer. Meanwhile, Hidden Block can try to figure out what they think it's going to be. All right, Satch. When Jeff goes to the grocery store... Yeah, this is all on you.
If he's not getting meat, listen.
Okay.
Everybody needs bread. Everyone needs bread.
Bread?
Everyone needs bread.
Bread! All right. Bread. Survey says... Oh! That means Hidden Block. You guys have a chance to figure out what that last answer could possibly be. And if you guys get it, you're going to get all the points. All right, Jimmy.
We're going to say frozen food or ice cream.
Frozen food or ice cream?
Frozen
Okay,
food,
all right.
ice cream.
All right, if you guys get this right, you get all the points.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Normal Boots is getting it all.
Okay.
He says frozen food or ice cream. Survey says... You're gonna get all of these points. All right, Jesse, let's see the number 3 answer on the board. He doesn't have a pet.
He does not have a pet.
No, do you get it? It's because you're space hamster. All right, Jesse, how many points is that gonna bring Normal Boots up to? 60 points for Normal Boots. Let's move on to the next question.
So we want to start off by getting a little show of hands. Who here? Raise your hand if you've beaten Cuphead.
Woo! Yes.
Nice. Okay, raise your hand if you've beaten it on expert mode. Oh, not bad. Okay, raise your hand if you've gotten all the achievements. Nice. I'm impressed. So my name is Jordan. This is Brett. We're both with Destructoid, a video game website, and today we are talking to 2 of the minds behind Cuphead.
Hi, I am Maya Moldenhauer. I am an executive producer with Studio MDHR and one of the artists. And
I'm Chad Moldenhauer, one of the co-creators and art director on Cuphead.
So we've got a lot to get to today because we want to know a lot of stuff. It seems like the logical place to begin is with the origin of Cuphead. It seems like there's a lot of misconceptions out there about the actual timeline when you guys started Cuphead. Like everyone's kind of heard that's been in development since 2010. What's the actual story about the game?
well, it's been in development since 1999. No, I'm kidding. That is a great question to ask because let's clear the air here. Actually, I'll let you clear the air on this one.
Yeah, I know this timeline nearly perfect. Jared and I, like my brother Jared and I, started talking about making a game maybe in 2010, and that's how that idea of Cuphead has been made since 2010 started. But we didn't actually start prototyping a run and gun game until 2013, and that was still on the weekends, very part-time, maybe 3 or 4 hours a week. It didn't really start until the end of 2014. And that's kind of when our team grew to about 6. And then after E3 2015 is when we decided to make the leap and go all in for this game. And we hired a bunch more people, scaled the team up to around 16, and that's realistically mid-2015 is when development started.
Was it, so you said a run and gun, was it always going to be a run and gun, or was there a point where it was looking like something else, or could it maybe have been something else?
We always have wanted to make a running gun since probably 12 years old. And throughout our life, we've been passing ideas back and forth on, here's cool ideas we could add if we ever got to make our own games. So when it came to the final decision of like, what game should we make, it was like, hell yeah, let's make this.
I take it there were specific games then at that age that you really loved, that you wanted to continue. Were there some?
Oh, for sure. Contra 3, Gunstar Heroes were like our main inspiration. And then Treasure as a whole. All their library of games is amazing. We loved like the early Japanese style of development that kind of paved the way for the crazier yet still friendly style of games.
Hope you guys are having a good time at EGLX. It's not often that we get to come over to Canada ever. So it was nice to meet a lot of you. Hello for the first time for almost everyone here. It's nice to meet you all. Hope we're having a good show. Was anyone here? Anyone not here yesterday?
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. Is there anyone that raise your hand if this is your first EGLX? Yeah.
Wow. Raise your hand if you guys came to EGLX just to see us. Yeah. We need a screen.
Was the owner here? Did he see that? That's important. Did he see that?
Okay, Jason saw it in the back. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. All right, cool. That's important. All right, thank you. Cool.
All right, so we won't have a whole lot of stuff planned for this panel because I spent all my creative juice on the show yesterday. So this.
Shout out to Jared. He did just like 95%.
Thank you for taking my survey.
Did anyone out here take the survey?
Yes.
Did you say not take or did
No, take it.
Oh, okay, cool.
People were in the survey.
Your feedback was instrumental as I got 500 of the most meany answers. Some of the best questions, yeah. I mean, some of the questions I just ended up not using, I was like, these are worthless. These are not good answers that I can use. They were funny, I was laughing. But every single person had a different answer, so I was like, I can't give like 1 point each.
So quick thing real quick, yesterday after we did our big panel, we told everyone to go to the booth and we're going to go sign stuff. That was real rough. We didn't get to the booth in time and we upset a lot of people. So today what we'd like to do is the same thing, but we're only going to be there for about an hour or two tops because we were there for 5 hours yesterday and we didn't get to go to the bathroom and it was kind of cramped. So if you guys want to say hello to us afterwards, please just go to the booth. We will be there. Just be patient with us.
We did a big group picture just for ourselves while we're still at the booth. Just like, we're all here, let's do it. After several hours, and then Shane just wasn't there. Yeah. Because you got hungry and left.
You went got food, yeah.
You came back eventually, but
Eventually we came back.
so we're just gonna hang out and chill and just do like a Q&A panel. So usually we have a couple of rules as we do this. We prefer questions that address everyone at the table rather than a single individual person, if you could. Prefer not to have questions that waste anyone's time. For example, what's your favorite pasta shape? That's a pretty worthless question.
Will Gerard complete the game that I suggest? Yes. Just yes. Yeah. Always yes. You don't have to ask. Just know that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, so questions like those, just to try to be courteous. A lot of people wait a long time trying to get in here, including yourselves, so we'll try to be courteous about that. And for the most part, we can hear you guys. Just make sure you shout it out loud enough for us to hear. And then we'll just go down the line and pick them.
Yeah, question.
Yeah,
raise your hand.
Josh, do you want to start with a...
Hey, hope you enjoyed the con footage, but here we are with basically what I got at this year's LGLX. I know from previous convention videos I just film my bed and just show what I got from there, but I was getting a bit tired of that angle. I felt like it was getting a bit stale in my videos, so I figured I might try something a little different, try a more vlog edited approach of me showing you what I got at this convention. You know, because it was a new convention, I really enjoyed it, so I figured new convention, new fresh take on doing my convention videos a little bit. I just wanted to try something else to do my videos, do a different style, a little bit of a different style, but a little bit more snappy. So in that case, it'll still be me on camera, with some jump cuts here and there, so be prepared for that. But hopefully this will still work and you'll like it, and I'll just show you what I got. Alright, first up is what I got autographed. I only brought a few things signed for just a couple of guests. As you saw earlier, a whole bunch of the normal boots and hidden blocks game reviewers are there, and it was really cool to see all the panels and stuff. But I managed to run into some of them and talked with them. And as I said, I got a couple of the signs and things. First up was Pro Jared. Now, you may recall back in Con Bravo a few years ago, I actually got my Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Strategy Guide signed by him, which features the main character looking an awful lot like him, which was funny. I pointed out in my video, but I also pointed out to him, and he got and it was a good laugh. You can see my video on that if you want to know more about that. But for this, but because he was at LGLX, I decided to bring a couple more things from him to sign. First up was, you may recognize this little boy from my videos. He's usually hanging out in my videos in the background on my desk as I film my live action stuff in my videos. But this is a Blondeguygamer from Monster Hunter, or is it, what's the other pronunciation that people usually go with? Blondeguygamer? I don't know. I'm not sure which one is correct. It's an abstract monster name, but, tomato, tomato, I don't know. But I usually pronounce it Blondeguygamer, so we'll just go with that. And if you don't like it, well, sorry. Don't like that pronunciation, well, sorry. But yeah, I basically just got a tag signed for him because he's a big Monster Hunter fan. So am I. Just felt natural to just get this signed from him. Now, the second thing I got signed from him was, well, you may remember from, if you've seen my other convention videos, one Anime North, I did get a particular game thanks to Samurai from 1 Year in Anime North, and that was Highlight, and I got Pro Jared this time because he did a review on the series, and when I showed him this to get signed, he pretty much just went and just smacked it down on the floor, which I got a good laugh at. It was an appropriate response considering how infamous this game is. So yeah, it was great to get this signed from him and see that reaction and stuff like that. Alright, and the last thing I got autographed was from Icarus, and you may know where this is going if you've seen my reviews, but I actually got my copy of Bratz signed from him, and he even quote-unquote fixed the title into something more appropriate. I believe that's actually the title, or at least one of the gags in his videos of calling it that. But yeah, and I did talk to him a bit about how I did a video on it and such, so yeah, that was fun. And that's all that I could really think of to bring to get autographed at the time, but I did manage to talk to a few of the other guests. There was Gerard, the completionist. He was really nice to talk to. And I also talked with Peanut Butter Gamer and Space Hamper, and they were really nice to talk to as well. Although I bring this up because I actually do have a bit of a funny story with Austin of Peanut Butter Gamer. When I first introduced myself, he misheard my handle as Small Guy Gamer, which, what needless to say, was kind of bewildering. I'm just like, wait, what? No, I'm blonde. So, and keep in mind, this is a showroom, or, showroom at a convention. It can be noisy. It can be a bit hard to hear, misunderstand people, even if you're talking right next to them. So I don't blame him for, not hearing me clearly. But at the same time, the fact that that's what he thought at first, because if you know me in person, I'm not really small. I'm about 6 feet tall, so, and I wasn't not much shorter, if at all, than him. So he probably just thought it was ironic. So I don't know. It's just something funny that I can just look back to and just think, oh yeah, that was funny. But still, it was really nice to talk with him. Funny misunderstanding or mishearing of something aside, and just coming up with that, that's just something that that can just happen with Peanut Butter Gamer, Okay, now it's time for what I bought, and I bought a bunch of video games. Shocking, I know. First off, we actually have a bunch of Ratchet & Clank games that I purchased, and I got it because I played through the 2016 Ratchet & Clank not too long ago as my first Ratchet & Clank, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I figured that I saw them at one vendor in the main room, and I figured, yeah, I might as well start getting into the Ratchet & Clank games. I got the HD collection, which is the first 3 games on PS3 in HD, as well as the Ratchet & Clank Future games, released 2 of them on PS3. The Tools of Destruction, which is the first one, and Crack in Time. And the third one, Into the Nexus, I believe it's called, was there, but I didn't have enough money to get, every single Ratchet & Clank or every single PS3 Ratchet & Clank game. I think there was also a couple of the PSP ones as well, but I didn't get them figured. But I figured, 5 Ratchet & Clank games would definitely be a good start to get it, start collecting for the series. Now, everything else I pretty much bought on the Sunday, because on Sunday is when the swap meet happened at EGLX, and that was basically a whole bunch of game vendors were setting up booths in a room. There were a lot of games there, and I definitely got quite a few games as a result. The first game from there being a game that I've been looking for quite a while, and that was actually the very first Monster Hunter on PS2. This is the only Monster Hunter game that has been released here that I haven't gotten yet, and I finally did. And as I mentioned earlier with the Legaiger's plushie, I am definitely a fan of Monster Hunter, and I've been extensively enjoying Monster Hunter World as well. And the funny thing is with getting the very first Monster Hunter, especially when compared to the very first one, this has definitely gone quite a long way since the very first one. And I actually did play a bit of the first one, and there's definitely some antiquities that are pretty baffling in this one. For instance, do you know how you do attacks in this game? You use the right analog stick. Yeah, needless to say, they stopped doing that, and we now have a much better conventional method we have with the Monster Hunters of today. DuckTales, woo! Yeah, I got DuckTales on NES. This is another one that I've been looking for quite a while, and I finally decided to get this. And which is funny because I did play the DuckTales Remastered on Wii U, but I never got the original NES DuckTales until now, but finally glad I did. Alright, next up is a game that I actually already have, but decided to get a better copy of. And it's actually one of my favorite games that I've already done a video of. And that is Rocket Knight Adventures. Yep, before I only had just a cartridge. Now I have a complete in-box with the manual and everything, and it's in really nice condition. As a Rocket Knight Adventures fan, I'm very glad I got this. Especially because, I'll even compare it to the original cartridge here. And even with the cartridge, there's a difference. Yeah, if you look carefully at the old cartridge, you can see like scratches and stuff into this, while this new one is pretty much pristine. It's almost new. So I'm really glad to get this as a Rocket Knight Adventures fan. Which is also funny because I was wearing a Rocket Knight Adventures shirt that Danny gave me a while ago before Christmas, and a few of the vendors liked it, and when I was picking this up, they commented, "Oh, you think you would already have that game since you're wearing the shirt?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, but I don't have it completed in box, But yeah, as I said, as a fan, really glad to have it. Got another Game Gear game. This is actually Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe, which is a Golden Axe spin-off, which plays more like a side-scroller action RPG type of thing, at least from what I can tell looking this up. But yeah, even though my Game Gear only half works, it still need to collect. I'm still collecting for Game Gear. And this was cool to see. Just be like, oh yeah, this is the original Golden Axe game. So I decided to get it. And this last game that I bought was actually for the Sega Master System. Thanks to Zero Master, I finally got a Master System recently, and I'm just now starting to collect games for it. And I managed to get a complete in box Double Dragon for the Master System. And one of the main advantages to this version compared to the, like say, the NES one, is that this actually has 2 players simultaneous, while in the NES one you had to take turns. So it's definitely worth to get this if you want to get an 8-bit Double Dragon with actual 2 players going on for that. And as a fan of Double Dragon, you know, I'm slowly been getting into more and more of the games. I actually got Super Double Dragon a while ago, and yeah, I pretty much have most of the main Double Dragon games. You know, but now with this, I'm starting to get more versions of Double Dragon games. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And the next couple of things are, of course, still game related, but are just, you know, little extra neat things that I found at like artist alleys and stuff. And first up, we have this mug with a bunch of controllers on it, you know, and this was actually in the Game Swap area, but there was a vendor selling all these mugs with all the different like video game stuff on it. And I decided just to go with, you know, with the controllers, so I have pretty much a whole bunch of systems. Well, except for like an Atari. I actually don't have an Atari yet, but for everything else, it's, you know, it's appropriate. And who knows? Maybe I'll actually start using this in videos, like put some coffee in, being like, hey, some call me Blondie. Okay, yeah, that was a bad reference joke. I don't even really drink coffee. I usually prefer to drink tea. And the very last thing I bought was, of course, something Monster Hunter related. And that is this. This is a Devil Joe pin, which, if you know Monster Hunter World, that's actually coming out very soon, in like a week as of recording and probably posting this video and all that. But I just saw this and I just thought it was hilarious because if you know Devil Joe, he eats a lot. And of course, he has a little big thing of meat in his mouth, which is hilarious. So yeah, just seeing these little pins there was funny. I decided to get one. And that about does it for LGLX. I had a blast. It was great to see the guests and all their panels and everything. I had a good time with Zero and everyone else that I went with. And maybe I'll be there again next year. Who knows? Until then, see you guys in the next convention.